So, tomorrow, and we're just gonna say crossed, I might have a date tomorrow. um, just to like hang out, talk, kind of like test the waters, like to see like if it's a good fit or not. Because I'm trying to obviously move from here, so take advantage of the situation that I'm not gonna be here that much longer. Because I'm gonna have to try to figure out what I need to do and like all that. And really, I just need help. And every time I try to go on dates or whatever, it's like I regret it because it's like sometimes, it just doesn't work out. And sometimes they're just not good matches. Like when you meet someone online, they go based off your pictures, they go based off so many different things, and everybody goes off different things. So that's why usually I always ask like their zodiac sign before I even talk to them. Like if I say, I'm a Virgo, what are you? And usually if they say like certain signs, I'm like, I'm not going to even mess with them. Just from personal bad experience where I've had bad experience with that zodiac sign. And as for everything else, I am disabled. I am sickly a lot. That doesn't mean I don't like to have a good time. That doesn't mean I don't want to have adventures. That doesn't mean I don't want to get out of the house. It just means I can't really afford to, and I need help. And as much as I can do it on my own, and I have done it on my own for a long time, I've helped all these people in my life, and now that I'm getting older and can't do it, and I don't have that support system to help me, I need people to help me, right? As much as I want to say I could do it on my own, you never really know what the universe brings you. Like, you never know, like with my back, when my back, it just happened, right? And it can happen, things can happen in a blink of an eye and change your life completely. It's so strange because part of me feels bad because in a way they would be helping me, but it's also like in a relationship you help people, right? Like even if they're disabled, if you care about them, like I obviously want to get someone that like genuinely cares about me, like just to make sure I'm okay. Like I'm not gonna die alone, I'm not gonna fall and just be left in here with a broken leg, you know what I'm saying? Like just genuine care. Like that's really what I need from a connection, and like can make things happen because you can't afford to build things, right? So if I move from here and am able to get some kind of tiny home or cottage or something, someone who can, do things that I might not be able to do. And I don't know, when it comes to living with people, part of me wonders if I can do it. Like when you're in a toxic relationship for a really long time and it's just constant fighting to where you have to have a 2-bedroom apartment so you guys sleep in different rooms. That's what I did towards the end of my last relationship. It was just bad. Like it was constantly fighting and I didn't want to do it anymore. Like it was just, you know what I mean? I don't ever want to get to that point again. And I want to find someone who doesn't have kids because with the whole baby mama thing, it's a lot. And sometimes you get a crazy baby mama who just doesn't want you involved in their family, which I can understand. Honestly, I could. Because you never know the type of people that try to wing themselves into people's families and try to destroy them. So I understand that. But also, like, I'm not trying to give myself an excuse, but I'm trying to be very honest with myself. I just turned 30. I have mental illness. I wouldn't say it's anger issues. It's definitely like I'll take and take and take until one little thing, like it blows it over to where I explode on everybody. okay? And I don't know what that is. I really don't. Like, if I just don't, I lived in a very unhealthy, like, toxic environment in my childhood where the dynamic was always arguing too. So it's like, it's trying to heal, like, what my perception of the male is and what my perception of the female is, right? And because I'm not, in a way I am those things, but in a way I'm not. I'm like completely different. Like, I actually want a relationship that we can be together for long periods of time and we're not like annoyed by each other. You know what I mean? Like, we can just sit down, play video games, watch TV, and just be okay in each other's presence. Sleep next to each other, or, you know, if the sleep machine bothers you for me breathing or whatever, like, that's fine. But for some reason, when I know someone else is in the house, like, it makes me feel better. But it's like, I had to learn when I moved out here to be alone, right? Which I was scared at first, but it was also like, okay, this isn't that hard. Like, I actually feel okay. I feel safe enough, and I have all these things in here that would protect me. So it's like, I'm not too worried about it, but it's just like I have general anxiety about it because I don't want to waste any more time. Like, I don't want to hang out with anyone who they're saying everything I want to hear and they're acting like how I want them to be, but then they're not genuine about it. Or they may be in a tough spot, or they just lie about it for attention or competition, I'll just leave. Like, as soon as and I'll catch up on it really quick, I'll just leave because it's not real. If it involves other people, if it involves pride, if it involves boosting yourself up and pushing someone else down, it's not really love, okay? And see, a lot of people on here, especially on the internet, if someone has a YouTube channel, they think, oh, I'm gonna get with that person, get clout, get attention, and bring attention to me from other people. You know what I mean? And it sucks, but it's also like, it comes with the territory. You kind of like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, just because you're on social media doesn't mean like I'm better. It doesn't mean like I don't know what the perception is with that, but it's weird. Also, like, just everything that's been going on and happening, it's just so weird. Like, my life lately has been so weird. And a lot of times I sit here and I'm like, what is going on? Like, what is the plan for all this? Why did all this happen? But, there's things you don't see and don't hear and don't know about. And maybe it's for the better that you don't know about it, because it might, like, for example, with all the stuff with my family, right? And the betrayal and the slandering and trying to attack me, physically damaging my body and my health. They didn't care. They thought it was entertaining. They thought that it's okay to treat their blood like that, which also kind of reveals to them a cycle of things that seems tolerable to them, like abusing others, slandering others, men in the family pushing women down to try to control them. It goes back to their childhood too, and what they witnessed with their mom and dad and brothers and sisters, and what they saw that was they got away with and that was okay. Just because they got away with that for so long and kept it hidden for so long doesn't make it okay. Like, what they did to me, they tried to hide. They tried to not be caught. That's why I installed security cameras. That's why I did everything Dad told me to do, because it was all part of following the divine plan, like to show them the truth that they didn't want to see about themselves, that they really do treat me different. They really did treat Dad different. They really did come at me like I was, like I had, like I was an evil person for money. Like, and it's so bizarre to me that they couldn't be happy for me either. They couldn't like just be happy for someone that never got nothing. Okay, literally the black sheep of the family they couldn't be happy for, and it proved by everything that happened, and everything I warned him about, everything I warned the family about that was going to happen. They didn't want to listen to the premonitions. They didn't want to listen to what I had to say. And now they're living it. Now they're going to be living a nightmare for the rest of their life until they atone for it. And because whether they want to admit it or not, they sold off the graves. They sold off graves of their family, their resting grounds, whether you want to call them a grave, whether you want to call it a rocky plot of land with ashes on it, whatever you want to name it, it's still the bodily remains of these people, and it's still their resting grounds of where they chose to rest eternally. Okay, and you're disgracing that, you're dishonoring that by desecrating the graves and resting spot to allow someone else to live there and change it, move it, disrupt it, and possibly do harm to it. But they don't care. All they cared about was a measly $20,000 a piece, which, okay, fine. But, you know, how quickly it happened, like it was premeditated through my uncle. Literally right after my dad died, he ripped off the headstone that I bought for my dad, which was an army headstone for his emblem in Granada. He took angels, priests, shrines. I mean, you don't have to be a rocket science, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to look up, like, when you read about Native American burial grounds, when you knock over the rocks or when you disturb a place of sleep for the spirits, you open up a portal. Like, when you go, like my uncle came and like ripped all the headstones off, ripped everything out of the ground, like they're literal graves, they're shrines where I spent so much time like planting roses, planting trees, like cutting the grass, putting lights at night. Like, the level of hatred in his heart that he had to have, not only for my dad, which was his brother and his mother and Grandpa Jerry, Donnie, there's some kind of deep hatred in there. Like, in his heart, there's a deep hatred. And nothing I could say I don't think you can save Richard. Like, I think he's just so far down deep in the dark. He's literally in the dark night of the soul, and when you're in that, like, you can't tell them nothing. They want to believe what they want to believe to protect themselves and to protect their identity and protect who they think they are or who they should be. They don't think for themselves anymore. It's just other people running their mind for them. And that's what he did. He let Cindy and Mindy roll the show and use him like a puppet, use him like a tool to try to destroy me, which they knew they had tons of years to cuddle up to him, get him on their side. Cindy, we all know about Cindy, don't we, guys? We all know how she really is and how she really operates, and her dark past that she wants to, she wants to try to prey on these people that have dark pasts like her for whatever reason, because she doesn't believe they can make it out of it. And I'm the manifestation of making it out of it, and she can't stand that because she can't make it out of it, because she has this insecurity involving her body, involving her mind, and she can't stand that I broke that curse, and she doesn't understand how I did it, with what we both went through. Okay. And see, the thing is, when I first found out about Cindy and her dad and all that, it made a lot of sense why she was so obsessed with me, my life, what I was doing, when she really never gave a damn. Like, to be honest, guys, like, to be bluntly honest, if you truly did give a damn, and she would spin this story with Richard. Oh, Richard went driving around for you at your apartments looking for you. Okay, well, that doesn't really sound like you're really looking that hard, right? And really, if you were, you would have found me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the same type of excuses my dad would do to me. Like, he would never leave his hometown, but he would tell me he did to make me feel better, type of thing. But it doesn't make you feel better. It makes it seem like it's deceitful by lying to me, right? That's how that family is, guys. Like, ever since I was a kid, I known that family was so dysfunctional. There was so much shit that had to happen in the past for them to think that's okay behavior. And there's no talking to them about it, because when I am bluntly honest and talk about it, they get agitated, they get angry, they get mad, because they don't understand how I went through something like that and I evolved and went to a different form, okay? And I'm like, I'm able to have conversations with people and tell people, what you're doing is toxic. I don't really want to be around that. And if you don't change, I won't be around it. They don't like that, okay? And that's for my self-care. That's for my health and safety, because they came at me slandering me. They came at me just attacking me constantly, coming to the house, constantly calling the police on me, constantly at my own home. Filming the house, filming my vehicle, walking around the house calling me paranoid. You guys check it out on my YouTube channel and my security cameras. That's why I'll never delete those videos. That's why I'll never delete the security camera footage, because I really do feel like they took a toll on my health. They damaged my health. They gave me ulcers. They gave me stomach erosions. They put me in a state of panic. They made my depression worse, my anxiety worse. They forced me to relocate to a place that isn't for me. I can't live there. None of the places that I would have moved would have worked either. They were all steps. They weren't accustomed to my disability. The real estate agent didn't help me. So they played a huge part in ruining my life, like literally, like trying to take me down. And they would laugh and say I wasn't entitled to anything at all. Richard would say that to me on the phone. He would say, you're literally not entitled to anything at all. And I would fight. And see, the thing is, I would say, I'll give you the vehicles, which was what the money they got, and they wouldn't do it. They wouldn't compromise. And at the end of the day, like I said before, guys, I really believe that the females in the family wanted me out of my grandma's house, because they couldn't accept why grandma chose that. They couldn't accept the way the will was wrote. They couldn't accept the decisions that were made. They couldn't accept it, because then that means they would have to reflect on them. They would have to think about what they've done. They'd have to think about everything, and they couldn't handle it. And I understand that death is hard, and I get that. And I really never thought, they shouldn't get anything, but that's the thing. It wasn't like they didn't get anything. They all got stuff already before the whole fiasco at court, right? But it wasn't enough for them. And see, that's the thing. That was the lesson too, after I left, because Richard basically assaulted me. Like, I caught it on camera. He stole guns at my house, which is a felony. He assaulted me, took my phone, okay, insulted me, belittled me with his girlfriend Cindy in my own home. That level of disrespect to me kind of reverberated and showed how much disrespect he had for my dad and how much disrespect he had for his mom, okay, about all the decisions and everything that was written the way it was. Richard, I don't know what the problem is with Richard, if he's got a mommy issue or he just doesn't feel like he's enough, or he just doesn't feel like he's good enough, and so that weighs heavy on him, and so he's like overdoing it, and then when people don't do what he wants, he gets angry about it. That's kind of what I've noticed with Richard, is if you don't do what he wants you to do, he gets mad. Okay, that's the thing though. Richard wants you to do things that aren't right sometimes. Like, when he took my keys, right? I told him I didn't want to give him the keys because he lies, because he's he's treating me bad. He didn't like that, okay? He still took my keys, okay? And then he tried to lock me out of the house so I couldn't get my stuff. I still didn't get all my stuff. And he thinks that's funny, and I guarantee you him, Cindy, and Mindy sold off all my stuff. Look into his house. Anyone who knows him, go to his house and look at his gun if he's got a Smith & Wesson or a Cobra pistol and a rifle. Those are mine, okay? He took them from me. Also, it's one thing to backstab your own kin, basically kick dirt over burial grounds, betray your family, but then it's a whole nother ballgame when you assaulted me and you called me fat and you called me a prostitute and all this shit because you didn't even know what happened to me in Bismarck. And I told you face to face what happened to me. But whoever spun the story, probably Cindy or Mindy, because they're so bitter, yeah, they distorted it and twisted it in a way that wasn't the truth. And see, if you would have just came to me and asked me the truth, you would have got it. But it was more fun for you to imagine, Richard, if that happened to you. Imagine if a big guy overpowered you, raped you, okay, and you were forced to talk about it to protect other people, but then someone in your family like Cindy, Mindy, or me came to you and was like taunting you about it and humiliating you about it and trying to shame you about it to try to get you quiet. Like, it's such a level of betrayal that I don't even know how you come back from that. Like, it's literally you tried to kill off the connection for good. And I can't do anything to fix it. That has to be all him to fix it, because I'm not gonna do anything. I didn't deserve that shit. I didn't deserve any of that shit, and they know that. I don't have to say it. Everyone who's seen the video, who knows about it, who's on social media, they know. They know that whole case was a fucking crack. It was like literally sketchy as fuck. And honestly, guys, I'm not trying to hate or anything, but never once did I ever say to Richard, like, that's the weird thing, is he would never let me talk to Mindy or Cindy alone. It was always with him around type of thing. And the thing was, it was so weird when you try to compromise, to try to stop it from escalating, and you try to give them vehicles, and you try to pay them money that I had extra. They wouldn't do it. They literally would not do it. No amount of money they would do. Even at one point, they were offered more money than they would have got for forcing me to leave. But they wouldn't do it because they couldn't stand the fact that I would be living there, okay? And see, when you remove a guardian from a resting place, you remove a family from being able to take care of their graves of the ones they love. You curse yourself. And that's a curse that they have to carry, not me, because it was completely out of my hands. I did everything I could do, and legally I had to move. I had to leave, okay? So, and literally had to leave a bunch of my stuff there that I couldn't take with me. And, even how unfair that was, okay? They couldn't even be civil. They couldn't even be fair, even after all this unfair shit happened, they couldn't even let me take my things, okay? So it was like another level of fuck you to my face type of thing. Um, but you know, I came there to take care of my dad. They just, I don't know, like I never could really relate to them. Ever since I was a kid, I just couldn't relate to them. I was completely different in every single sense of the word, just different than them. In every way, okay? Every way you can think of, I was different than them. And, you know, maybe I was never meant to fit in with them. I tried as hard as I could. Nothing I did was accepted. And that's when I started to realize, you know, the females in the family, they have like a hierarchy, right? Where only they allow certain people to be looked at with, you know, look in the, like, walk in the light type of thing. They didn't want any other females in the family to be appreciated, admired, looked at. They always wanted to be their kids, you know. And that's, you know, whether they want to look at that or not, that's the truth. And, you know, I don't know what else to say, guys. I really don't. Like, I'm trying to move on. I'm trying to, you know, it still hurts. And it really does. I really don't care about the females in the family because they've always been really underhandedly nasty to my face. Kind of like the evil stepsisters in Cinderella. That's how they always treated me, okay? And like right bluntly in their face, okay? And the one that hurt was my uncle. I don't know why that one hurt. Like, even when my Uncle Donnie passed, like, that really shook me, okay? That really, like, disturbed me because, one, he seemed so young, and two, I never knew that he had such a problem and that he kept a secret for so long, you know, like the drinking and all that. Like, I just had no idea. And I really couldn't believe that he let it go that bad because he seemed like such a in control person. Like he had life figured out, right? Like he made good money, he had a job, he was successful. And it was just shocking, like before my dad, like he went and my dad's drunk for years and years, but I guess it wasn't that hard stuff like, you know, my Uncle Donnie was drinking, you know, and I guess vodka can do more to you, but I don't know, but it's just like, um, it's just hard to believe, you know. It's just like when they came in threes like that, it leaves the family in shock. And I kind of knew that. And I've been through a lot of death already, just from friends, family, people close to me. I've already had like a huge, like, where 3 people died in my life, then 3 in my family. It was like, it was a lot. And it's just like basically me like trying to readjust to life with people because I keep trying to go on dates and stuff and some people just we just don't vibe right. And I'm not looking for someone who's all touchy-feely right away. I'm looking for someone who's genuinely going to care about me and like my health, where I'm going, like to care for me, right? And I don't know, like it's hard to find the real thing too, and I don't want to settle for something I'm not 100% happy in. And I don't want to get in a relationship where there's constantly arguing, fighting, like throwing hands at one another, like throwing shit at each other. Like, I just don't want it to get like that, especially if I do want to have a kid. Like, I want us to be able to, if we don't agree with something, then he just leaves and, or goes into another room or just drops it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, more mature, I guess. Um, I want to be financially stable and safe to where I'm not worrying about food. I'm not worrying about how to keep the electricity on. You know, bills come up, like Jasper gets sick. I have to sell things to, you know, keep him okay. And I don't want to live in a survival fear mode. You know, I already lived most of my life in that. And right when I thought I caught a break, you know, they pull the rug out from under me. And, I deserve it. Like, I really do feel like I deserve that, and I deserve to, because I was the only one that would live there, and I was the only one that would live there happily and would actually take care of the Grays. But they, see, that's what I'm saying, is they were so brainwashed and so just in a fog that people were just reacting, and they weren't really thinking about anything, because they literally sold my grandma's place for just a little bit more than this place. 4 acres of land that they had worked so hard to buy other acres of land around it. And just all that years of work, all the years of time, family memories, they didn't care. Like, they literally did not care about it at all. And they just, like, even if it forced me to relocate after my dad's death, leave all my dad's stuff, like, literally, like, traumatizing, like, literally, like, changes a person to where they write a book about it, and they just so many injustices happen to you that you literally can't take it anymore. You have to write a book about all this shit because it's too fucked up. Like, you can't, it's literally like a nonstop action movie where shit keeps happening and there's no break. You know what I mean? And it's like, it was hard before COVID-19, but then COVID-19 hit, it turned it up. But then once I moved out to help my dad out at my grandma's house, it was like the it's like something got turned up to 100%, and just shit started happening nonstop. My dog disappeared. The neighbors come over, and they get involved in all the slander. They get involved in all the shit because I wouldn't give my dog to them. Like, it was so much bullshit and so much like drama, stress, and you guys saw it took a toll on me. Like, I took a medical camera pill, swallowed it, and my intestines were literally eroded. My stomach lining was literally had ulcers in it from all the stress. And before that, Bismarck being raped by a fucking lazy-eyed creep, okay? And my family don't even care about that. And in fact, they didn't care. They would take that and use it to try to damage me psychologically more. How do you recover from that? How do you repair a family dynamic that's so far gone and broken? You cross so many lines and barriers that, I mean, it's literally like me bringing up the worst fucking thing I could think of for my uncle. It's like, literally, I brought up already a lot, but literally I can think of one in particular thing that I could just bring up right now and just expose his ass about, and some stuff to do with his family. Okay, and see, I could be a real nasty bitch, and I could really fucking air out the laundry with all of y'all. With Mindy, Megan, Mindy, Cindy. Like, I could air it out. I know a lot about you guys. Like, a lot. People tell me shit too about your present days. Okay, like, that's the thing, is I don't go as low as you guys go. Like, I ain't as petty and dark as you guys go. Like, you guys go below the belt to try to jab at me. I don't have to do that. I can just say who you are, and that's enough, okay? Like, people already have qualms with you. People already have issues and problems with you guys from just how you treated people in the past, or how you screwed people over, or how you sued them, or, you know, just different things. Like, you forget about all these people in your past and history that you've had a bad experience with, or that you've, you know, ghosted or fucked around with. You forget all them people, okay? And then people, like, they come talking to me, okay? And I could just air out all the shit with my uncle and what he does at Hub's Pub, and where he works out in Bonne Terre, and what he does, you know, what kind of car he drives. I could do it all. I could make his life a living nightmare if I wanted to. But I don't, because I don't care that much, because obviously he treated me so fucking bad that it made it very crystal clear where I stood with him. It made it crystal clear That everything in my life was fucking fake. And Cindy's fake as fuck. She's the fakest person, Bon Terre. She's the type of person that'll snuggle up to your kids, tell them how cute they are, let them do your makeup, and then turn around and insult them. Talk about their childhood past, their trauma, their deepest, darkest secrets behind their back. That's fucked up. How would you like that, Cindy, if people did that to you? Talk about your dad and how he used to be a drunk and did shit to you. You know, I could talk about all that dark shit, but I don't because we both know your mind couldn't handle it. We both know you would probably fucking explode like a volcano and do some dark, sadistic shit like you do with Richard. How you tap his phone, how you have his fucking phone on GPS where you see everywhere he goes, how you make fake accounts on the computer to harass me. It's obvious, Cindy, that you're the one that does it. It's obvious, Mindy and Megan too, but I mean, damn, you think by now you'd kind of like let it go, but you don't let it go type of thing. And as for everything else going on in my life, like, I have this place up for sale. I'm gonna get a contract written out through a lawyer. That's gonna contact the person I bought this from because I'm not talking to them anymore. To where the title's put in my name and I sign it so I can sell it and move on. I don't know what I'll do. I've been looking at different RVs and shuttle buses, but it's like, part of me is like, should I just get an apartment? But it's like, I don't know what it is exactly I'm looking for. Like, I tried to live in a house and I liked it. I've liked it so far, but it's about affording it, right? And maybe I could, Mississippi is cheaper. Maybe I can find more down there, right? Even if I lived in an RV and had an acre of land, I'd be happy with that. Like, I could do a composting toilet. I could do, like, as long as I have AC and heat, I think I'd be okay. And, like, you can get wood burning stoves. I'd probably need a generator. Yeah, I would want a manual for my camper so I can figure out if something does go wrong. But the perks of having an apartment is you don't really have to worry about that. But also, the thing I don't like about apartments is you get so lost. Okay, well, there goes the charger. Oh, Henny. Henny. You sleeping, little man? Oh, little man. You sleeping in your mama's pillow, little man? Handsome man. Mwah. You're cute. You're a cute little man. You're a handsome man. A chunky man. He's a thick boy. He's a thick boy. You're a handsome man. Look at those beautiful eyes. Look at those beautiful eyes, Mr. Man. You're handsome. You're handsome, Mr. Man. Boop. Boop. You're cute. You're a cute little man. Look at that belly. Look at that little belly. Cutie boy. Little toe beans. Little toe beans. You're a handsome man. Handsome man. I want to kiss that little boot snoot. Boot snoot. Ah. He's a little tired. It looks even enough, right? Okay, we're at 2 bars. Okay, we're at 2 bars now. So I did see these vans. They're like caravans. They're like caravans, kind of like the handicap vans we would use to get Junior. But they kind of like the handicap vans we would use to get Junior. But they turn it into like a bed, they got a stove, they got places to put things. And I'm like, could I do that? Like, that's kind of a good idea, right? And it's like, I don't know. Part of me wants to do the RV, but also part of me's like scared, like because my dad had one, he had a drivable one. And I remember there was like stuff that happened with the engine. And if something happens with the engine, you can't live within it without getting it fixed, right? So it's like part of me is like, do I get an attachable? Like, what's the benefits and pros and cons? I've been watching YouTube videos, but it doesn't really like go into full detail about stuff like that. And the only problem is, guys, I'm gonna be really transparent and honest. I tried to get an apartment. I got rejected twice in my hometown when I was first started looking. Because the last place I lived with, I was in a relationship and he had kicked holes in the wall. There was punched holes in the wall. He had completely destroyed it, left a bunch of shit there. So I was not in a good place. I had to get somewhere safer, obviously, and to that stays on your record, so I couldn't get a new place. That was mainly what I wanted to do. So really, when I got rejected twice, there was no other place for me to go. So I thought I'm just gonna have to buy a place. Now, I don't know if after so many years it goes away or if it stays on there forever. I don't know, but if it does, like, it's scary because a lot of the low income apartments, they don't allow pets. And the thing is, I won't give up Jasper. That's the thing. That's the one thing I have left in my life. And I won't give it up. Even if I had to live in a car, I won't give up Jasper because he's like the only thing that's keeping me going. Honestly, guys, he's the only thing that's keeping me in the present moment. Like when my dad died, having to feed him, having to care for him, that was the only thing that kept me literally going because I literally wanted to give up. I was that scared. And I do want to get him a friend, like, because I can tell he is kind of older and lonelier. Now, I am allergic to cats, so I don't know if I would get a Sphinx or what I would get. If that would help with allergies, I don't know. Or, I don't know. See, the thing is, they said I was allergic to cats, but the thing is, when I had a dog with a lot of fur, that would bother me too. But that could be for me smoking for many years. The ferrets were really pungent and strong. Mostly in the winter time is when I can't breathe as much. And I notice like animal fur affects me more. Like I can't go into farm stores where they have chickens and rabbits and stuff. It's just too hard for me to breathe. Like, so I don't know. I don't know if it's hay. I don't know. I had like an allergy test where I was allergic to walnut pollen and cedar and all kinds of other like plant material type things, animal dander. I think one was barley. I don't know. I can't remember everything. There was one nut in there too that I actually ate a lot and I was like, oh wait, was it almonds? What was it? I can't remember. I'll have to find that test. It's in my chart. It's like a virtual thing when you go to the doctor, which is useful, but that's another thing I gotta do is get my medication. Then what else do I gotta do? I need to go to the dentist. I've been having pain in my back tooth, top one and back one. On the bottom, I think I chipped a filling and I don't know. I've had a lot of work done on my teeth, like fillings, and I have none from here back. Sis basically removed all them every time I had a problem. She wouldn't pay for them to get fixed. She just paid for them to get ripped out. Which I guess is better than infection and pain, I guess. Even though you can't use one whole side of your mouth to chew. Um, they said I needed a partial, but you know, when I'm gonna be able to afford that, who knows? I just want to live a better quality life. I'm not trying to say I'm looking for a sugar daddy to like. I could care less about Gucci bags. I could care less about going shopping at the mall and buying like designer things. I'm just not. I just don't care about that stuff. Like, yeah, I would want to find nice clothes that fit me. At like better, like in newer condition without holes in them. And I did buy me a few nightgowns and a few new tops and stuff like that because I literally didn't have anything. Like, I had outgrown a lot of things. I had a lot of stuff that had been just stitched up repeatedly with holes that it just, you could tell I had hand stitched it together. And some clothes had bad memories attached to it. So it's like, I just had to get new ones. And it's like, when I say I want someone like a sugar daddy type, I just want someone who's financially stable to where we have a good life, right? If something breaks, we can fix it or replace it, or I won't have to worry as much about surviving. Like when I get down, if I get sick and I can't do anything, I get scared because I can't afford to be sick. I can't afford to be down because um like my life depends on it. Like I have to go to these appointments at this certain time. I have to take care of Jasper. I have to get groceries. I have to take care of the vehicles. I have to like, you know, figure out what I'm doing, what I'm, you know, after I sell this place, where am I going? Like, and a lot of it I surrender to God for him to take for me, but it's like I would be lying if I didn't say it would be nice to have someone. I'm not trying to, I don't want to perpetuate the stereotype that men are just smarter, because not all men are smarter than women, but you know, a lot of them are. Like a lot of them just like know what to do, and but some of them you can't trust. Like I would have liked to trust my uncle, but after all the stuff he did, I couldn't trust him. I couldn't trust anything he said to me, anything he did, just everything he said to me, done to me, betrayed me. Like it was just such a painful like it's just such a painful wound. Like it's still there. Like it's still like it's almost like a shock. It's almost like when my dad died, I lost my Uncle Richard too. Like he died too because he literally completely turned against me. And it all the suspicions I had about Mindy, Megan, Jesse, Cindy, the females in the family. And there's always a hierarchy in groups of women where they compete who's the best by how pretty they are, what they can offer, how smart they are, how far they went in life. Okay, and that's so fucking shallow of a way to judge a person. Like, I just don't get it. Maybe I'm just too masculine. Like, a lot of people tell me you just like, it's because I was raised by my dad and like, I didn't have a woman in my life until I was like 9 and up, and I'm still learning to be like feminine or whatever, but like I just been on my own so long. Like, I mean, a lot of women out here, they depend on someone to take care of them because they literally don't know what to do, and it's like I had to figure out what to do, like every stage of my life, whether it was good or bad. Okay, and I've been in some bad situations, fucked up situations I've got myself into. But that's the thing, when you don't have no one looking out after you, you don't have no one that cares about you, you don't have no one that like cares if you fall in your house even though you had back surgery. What if you don't get up? What if you can't, you know, reach the phone? What if you can't afford groceries? What if you can't get a ride? What if you need someone to take you for a surgical procedure? There's nobody. So like, let's say if I have these ulcers and they want to, you know, do surgery, even though they told me it should go away by itself as long as I, you know, keep my stress level low and, you know, be very mindful of how much I'm eating at once and don't stress eat, which I must have been doing a lot at that time, which caused the tearing and ripping and erosion. Okay. And what else was I gonna say, guys? I completely lost my train of thought. It's not like I'm like completely masculine, but I'm not completely feminine either. I'm like somewhere in between. And see, I'm not trying to perpetuate a stereotype either, but a lot of men, they want you to be skinny, they want you to look hot, they want you to be, you know, pretty fucking dumb, they want you to be arm candy. And then there's the other side of people where they want you to be smart enough to take care of yourself, but you still have to fall into these look categories, or you still got to fall into a level of success categories. And it's like it leaves out a whole bunch of people who will never ever fit in those boxes of standards of beauty because it's always based to go against you. Like, it's not about natural beauty, it's not about, you know, loving yourself. It's about fitting into what society tells you is beautiful and what they say is hot and what they say makes you, you know, wealthy looking. It's so bizarre to me that we live in a world that we literally follow our phones. We literally like cannot live without them because we're dependent on them. They force us to be dependent on them because I can't pay a bill without using my cell phone. I can't reach out to services that are through my insurance without a cell phone. If I didn't have a cell phone, I would lose my benefits, okay? Because there would be no way for me to contact these places. Because a lot of these places, you can't just mail out things anymore. You can't just go to their office because it doesn't exist. When COVID-19 hit, you couldn't even go to the Social Security Department. And a lot of them, you gotta call to make an appointment, okay? So it's so fucked how they literally trap you. Like, they literally, I don't know if that's the government. I know who made the phones and cell phones and internet was CERN, CERN, which is like this giant plant. I believe it's in California. It's like a nuclear plant pretty much that powers our devices or whatever. And it's so fucked up to me. Okay, so like people in Missouri, we're never gonna look like people in California. You know what I'm saying? But they want us all to literally look exactly the same. They want us all to have like little tiny alien noses, giant fucking lips, big tits, big ass, and a waistline thinner than a fucking nickel, okay? They want us to look like fucking fuck dolls, okay? I don't know if that's like just a percentage of men or if they're brainwashing men into thinking if you have this type of girl, you're successful. You're the dude. Like, it's so weird because usually when you find that person, they're so shallow and they have no soul and they could care less what happens to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not saying all people are, but I'm just saying, like, sometimes you just need to be appreciated as you are and maybe have someone help you go forward and evolve and change to better. But if you don't have someone who accepts you as you are and loves you as you are, and they're just shaming you and they're just like, it's almost like they're pointing at you and you're in a corner laughing, and it's almost like a weird, like they put you in a corner type of thing. They gang up on you and shame you for how you look. It's almost like being born with brown hair. They'll point at you and shame you and you're not blonde. It's like something like with my weight. There's always this group of people, but then I've also learned there's groups of people that, and it kind of gives me a little bit of relief that not everybody's the same, but there are small groups of people that are fucked up in the head. Like, there's skinny people that hate fat people. There's fat people that hate skinny people. There's people who are sexually attracted to only bigger women. That was kind of like something I needed to hear when I was 16 because I was like, I'm doomed to be alone forever. And, you know, I'm tired of like the pressure of, oh, I have to wear makeup. I have to fix my hair. I have to wear something nice. Like, sometimes I just want to go out in my sweatpants and a hoodie and have my hair tied up in a ponytail and just be like, this is me. Like, I'm a tomboy, like, you know, I like to be comfortable. Yeah, sometimes I wear dresses around the house, but when I get out, there's something about when I get out in public and people are looking at me, I don't want to attract attention because I feel fearful of that. So I'll kind of dress shabbily, kind of messy, like wear pants and a hoodie and cover up when I go out in public because I got this fear of really ever since Bismarck, guys. And I keep going back to this that guy in Bismarck really fucked my head up, like, really did damage to me, like, mentally, like, traumatized me and gave me so many fucking issues that I'm still working on to this day. And that's not fair, and I should be allowed to talk about what he did and what happened to me because the police didn't even care. They didn't even look into it. It was something that they literally were right up the road from the guy. Okay, so it's kind of like a slap in my face again that nobody gives a fuck. And see, I'd love to hook a bunch of big people up to a camera and have them report a crime and see how many times bigger people report crimes and they don't listen just because of the prejudice of how they look. I really believe that's a thing. I really believe they could care less. Like, if you came in there looking beautiful, innocent, young girl crying her eyes out, and she looked beautiful, they're probably gonna drop everything they do, go bust down the door and shoot the dude, okay? Me, they just like, oh, I'm just taking your report. We'll see what we can do. It's so fucked. It's so fucked up, guys. Like, the legal system down here in Missouri is so fucked up. So fucked up. And like with the prison thing too, guys, like the more I think about prison, I do feel like it does need to be expanded. Like, just because we're housing a large percentage of our population in prisons, giving them cell phones, there's like controversy on that. I don't feel like that's gonna do anything. Yeah, they're gonna have contact, but they're gonna find contact no matter what if they're adamant about it. But I feel like cell phones it keep them more docile. Like, I don't feel like a TV. I don't feel like, there's ways to secure it, and I'm sure they have ways, but you can't treat them like animals either because that's only going to cause them to, like, join together and overthrow the prison. Then we're going to have a bigger problem, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, I don't know what the answer is, but I really do feel like that guy should have been questioned. That guy should have been locked up, slapped with a charge of some kind of what he did to me, and the fact that he just walked away scot-free because he's a skinny looking person is so fucked. It feels racist. I'm not gonna lie, it feels racist against me. It feels like literally like they didn't care. Like, it's so messed up. It literally, like, that does something to your brain when you go to the police, like, you got a knife sticking out of your back, and you're like, ow, this guy stabbed me, help. And they're like, okay, write down what happened to you. We can't prove anything happened to you, but write it down. What's that gonna do for me? Nothing, but give me fucking paranoia that the dude's gonna do it again, okay? Or do it to somebody else, or make me feel like I'm in danger, okay? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how much more I can say. Like, I don't know how much more I've been transparent with y'all. I've recorded it all. I've done everything I can do to try to get justice, but it doesn't feel like Bismarck Police cares. It doesn't seem like the Deputy Chief Underwood down there cares about a rapist roaming around free in Bismarck raping people. The next Jeffrey Dahmer just walking around free, like, doesn't seem to care that much. And the guy's good. The guy's really, really good mentally. He knows how to, like, really deceit you really well, lie to you really well, manipulate you really well. Warn them of that. It's like you're in a fucking thriller movie, guys. It's like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, it's like you're living in a Michael Myers movie and you never know when Michael Myers is gonna come back because he always fucking comes back type of thing. And I'm gonna have to shoot the bitch if I see him this time. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I can't live in it. I can't live in the fear. It's fucking with my head. It's too much. It's too much for one person to handle, and that's why I had to move so far away, so I had a sense of safety. And I didn't feel safe back home because my own family was fucking attacking me, and I really believed that they were in cahoots with that dude and his family because they had money. That's what I truly believed. I thought they were going to try to kill me, get rid of me, frame it, make it look a certain way, make it look like I killed myself, make it look like I had an accident of some kind. I really believed that's what they were going to do. I truly believed that in my heart. Just from everything they said and did, you couldn't be any more heartless. You couldn't have said anything worse. You couldn't have done anything worse. I mean, the issues alone that it gave me was enough to, you know what I'm saying? Like, from then on, I had to be on Xanax. I couldn't sleep at night because I was so paranoid and so scared that someone was going to come get me in my sleep that I had to take Xanax to go to sleep. Okay. And that's when I started to realize, like, they were playing a huge part in damaging my health, damaging my sleeping, damaging my intestines, damaging my stomach, damaging my health. And I couldn't live there anymore. It wasn't worth the fighting anymore, the back and forth, because it got so nasty. Like, what have I ever done to them? Nothing. And they were so mad at my dad just from years of shit that they went back and forth on. They took all that anger that they couldn't get out of my dad because he died and they pushed it onto me. And which I'm used to because my whole life has been that, of people being mad at my dad and taking it out on me. Which I'm used to it by now, but it's also kind of like, that's why when I see parents who are really fucking shitty and they have kids, I never fucking blame their kids for shit. I never say shit to those kids. I never say, you know, your parents this or that, or you're gonna grow up just like that. I don't do that because that's like cursing that kid. I know how that feels, and it feels shitty. And you can grow up and you can be not like your parents at all, okay? So it's like, that's also the other bizarre thing about my life is I grew up with a mother that was never in my life, okay? Who could care less, okay? Literally. And a father who was an alcoholic who wasn't in my life. And a stepmom who was in there partially, okay? Until fully. And then it's just strange when you can't connect to family, you can't connect to friends. I don't know if that's like years of isolation does that to you to where you don't need people. You just genuinely don't. And a lot of times I wonder why people needed that. Like when my dad was in his last days, he would call a bunch of people, like people in the family, like Janet, or people from the VFW, and just talk to him as long as they would stand to talk to him. I never understood that because he never really talked to people. I mean, maybe he did in person, but it was strange that he was doing that. I don't know, like for me, it's like I think about it, it's like, yeah, it'd be nice, but I don't want to be the one that's forcing a connection. You know what I mean? I want the person to reach out to me. Like, I don't know. It's just so bizarre to me that. And see, the thing was, Richard would talk to my dad almost every other day. And see, he knew my dad was sick and dying. And he still wanted to argue with him. He still wanted to make him feel bad. He still wanted to do all this petty shit. He never once, like, I don't know, he just never once, like, did the right thing. And it just disappointed me because I really thought I thought highly of my Uncle Richard. I thought he was going to do the right thing. I thought he was going to step up. I thought he was going to be the leader. But he wasn't, okay? And that's when I was like, okay, I have to be the one to step up now because if I don't leave the house, something bad's gonna happen where we're gonna be in a shooting match, okay? And I didn't want to do that because just everything I've been through, one, it felt like he was literally trying to attack me and extinguish me and kill me or hurt me. Um, and even though he was doing all that, I didn't want to do it, but I wanted to protect myself, right? But you know, he took my weapons and stuff, which he didn't have no right of taking my dad's pistols. The Cobra, the Smith & Wesson, I still want them back. He can keep the rifle, but the thing is, he lied so much, manipulated so much. To me, he looks like a con artist. To me, everything my dad said about him doing shoddy workmanship, selling people shoddy places, it made me think what my dad was telling me was the truth, is he never did respect me. He doesn't respect women at all. He's got some kind of God complex where he thinks he's better than everyone, and it showed. It made me really believe it. And part of me wonders if he just didn't get enough love from his mom or his dad, or if he's just got issues. I don't know what the problem is, but I can't fix it for him. Especially if he doesn't like let me, if he doesn't even let me in his life, even as a peaceful way. Like, it was so bizarre. I used to go to his house when I was a kid, but then when I was forced to leave, they never once questioned that either, which is so funny. Like, whoa, what happened to Mandy? Oh, she disappeared. That's normal. You know, and then they would turn around and blame me for that when I was literally underage, a minor, and had to flee my home for safety, okay? It's so bizarre to me that my Uncle Richard would try to blame me, like, you left, this is your fault. Like, what? You're bringing up something from, like, 13 years ago? Like, that I had no choice in the matter? That it was literally me leave or die there? Like, or keep continuing to be abused? Like, you're blaming me because I should have stayed there to continue to be abused? Like, what? It didn't make no sense to me. Like, and that's when I started to realize he was being fed shit by people, and instead of just asking me, instead of coming to me and asking for the truth, he would go get the truth from other people. And it wasn't even the truth. It was like, you know how you tell one person something and the story changes from ear to ear to ear? That's the thing. He could have just came and asked me. He could have just came and talked to me, but he didn't. He didn't ask me those questions. He didn't. And that's the thing, is he wasn't a man. You know, he wasn't courageous. He didn't stand up. He didn't do the right thing. He teamed up with a bunch of evil people to take away my blessings from me. And, you know, I'll always look at him a certain way for that, because he never apologized for it either. He never once said, I'm sorry for everything. I shouldn't have done that, and I apologize. Just, like, literally, that's all it would take, and he still, to this day, has never apologized for it. To this day, he's never once made it right. To this day, he's never returned my items, my personal belongings that I pay for and have receipts for from Amazon, including my kitchen, Instant Pot, 2 baskets in the back closet that had art craft stuff in it, yarn, pictures, photographs of me as a child, an animal cage, a wagon, shoes, like personal belongings of mine. I literally could only take a Jeep full of stuff. Like, if you wanted me to hate you like that, I mean, there's no other way you could have done it worse. I mean, there's no other way. Like, you literally didn't care what the lawyer said. You did what you wanted to. They said you couldn't come over without certain papers. He still would come over. He would break into the garage. Another scare tactic to try to see if he could break in. You can hear him on the camera looking for the house key to break in. Little did they know I had already prepared for that. Okay? They always thought my whole life I was dumb. They always thought my whole life I was useless. They always just looked away from me and didn't care, okay? They didn't care about me at all. They disrespected me. And then when I had the upper hand on them, they didn't like it. See, that's the way I live now, is I have to think like that. I'm the underdog. Like, People are always gonna try to come at you, especially if you ain't, perfect in every way that they want you to be. They're gonna try to take you down. They're gonna try to extinguish your light. But the thing is, you don't have to let them. You never give up. You give it to God, and God will provide a way for you to get back. And He'll provide you a table and a seat next to all your enemies and place you in front of them. Okay, that's, I believe that. Okay. And as for what I'm going to do in the future, I don't know. I still to this day don't know. I just know I can't stay here. I can't afford it. I'm not going to pay Jim Boyer $1,500 a year for road upkeep when he doesn't even upkeep it. And my grandma had a rocky road just like this, and we only fixed it a couple years. It would dip. There's no way every year. He's trying to charge me $130 a month. There's no fucking way. I broke it down $130 a month for road. Hell fucking no. You can kiss my ass. You can kiss my fat ass. It ain't gonna happen, boo-boo. And, $650 in taxes, that's gonna cost me a lot. It just ain't gonna happen. You ain't gonna screw me over anymore, bro. You already done did it with this place. And, I fixed a lot of it, but, it needs to go to someone who knows what they're doing to fix the rest of it. And I need to go somewhere where I can get away from all this drama, the bullshit, the talking, just him trying to fuck my life up again. Jim Boyer ain't no better than Richard just from all the bullshit. Like, literally, Jim Boyer looks just like my grandpa Don Black. I ain't even kidding. The eyes, the icy blue eyes, everything. Just the mustache, like, literally everything. He looks just like my Don Black. He's freaking... That's what scared me about him, okay? When I first met him, I was like, dude, are you my grandpa Don Black in spirit form? Like, it was so weird. Like, I feel like they're related. Like, it was so creepy. And it was just like... And then a hawk flew down in front of this house, and I was like, okay, that's my dad, because that's the same hawk in front of the house. Like, that's his spirit saying, yeah, you can stay here. But, I don't know. Maybe I needed to learn a bunch of lessons. I don't know. Like, maybe I needed to figure out for myself what I really needed to do. And, even if I move down to Mississippi, it's not going to be any different because, like I said, nobody is in my life. Nobody helps me. No one cares. No one's looking after me. So it wouldn't really matter if I picked up and lived in another town because all I do is go to the grocery store, go to the doctor. I need to buy a dentist and buy resources. Okay, that's it. Like, it's not going to matter, like, and part of me, I still want internet, obviously, but part of me wants to be away from all the chaos and the noise and, have a little plot of land and have like animals just naturally come out of the woods around. Like, that's what I need for my soul. Like, if I had a creek, a river, or a little body of water, that'd be great, but I guess I just really want quiet. Like, but I want access to the internet, but I want it to be just quiet. I want a little place with trees all the way around, privacy, and just live in fucking peace. Like, I understand people keep saying go to apartment, go to apartment, go to apartment, but it feels like you don't genuinely have true privacy. Like, you can't just go out and water your plants without people looking out their windows. You can't just go get your mail without a bunch of windows of people looking at you. Like, I know that doesn't bother some people, but when you have PTSD, it bothers you, and you constantly obsessively think about it, and you worry about people's perceptions of you, and it affects you. Like, you're always going to find someone that doesn't like you for your weight, right? But there's some people that openly talk about it to you and publicly shame you about it. And it's kind of like, they wouldn't do that to a black person. They wouldn't just walk up to a black person and go, you're a Negro. Fix that. Bleach your skin, right? No, they'd get beat up for that. Rightfully so. But it kind of feels like with big people, they're just like, you need to watch your health. It's kind of like, part of me really wants to say, bitch, shut the fuck up. But I'm trying to be better. And it's also kind of like, I have an eating disorder. I'm working on it. I really hope most of the time when people try to fuck with me that they catch me on a calm day, because people, like, for example, when I go to the peace pantry, there's one new bitch in there in the middle that always says, hurry it up, hurry it up, we're on a time limit, people. And we wait outside, we wait in a whole nother parking lot away from this building, okay, and we wait like 30-40 minutes to get in, and they're only letting 10 people at a time in, and they're screaming at them, okay, to hurry. It just doesn't make sense. It's so disrespectful to the people that's waiting, like, and they feel like they can do that because these people are starving, and they'll take the abuse because they're hungry. And that's what I'm saying, is it kind of feels like a concentration camp, is because a lot of these food banks, people abuse their power in it, to get what they want out of it, okay? And a lot of families that are hungry, women with children, young women, these dudes are super creepy, and they prey on that. And some of these women in these pantries are like just bitter old women, and they want to fucking, the whole point of them getting the job there is just to fucking be mean and nasty to people. And with me, I say shut the fuck up, you want to fight, and then it turns into a real fucking thing, okay? Because you catch me on a day, I'll just ignore it. But if you catch me on the wrong day, I will full-fledged fight you. Like, I'll full-fledged, like, it's on. Like, I'm going to jail. Like, and because we're living in a point in the world like that, if you don't do that, you're gonna let people just walk all over you, stomp all over you, treat you like a roach. Like, you ain't nothing. Like, and that's not fair, because the way we're living, guys, I know they say it's a recession, but really it feels like a depression. Because the food prices are expensive. They've went up a lot. The prices of electricity is expensive. People are having to choose what they're going to do, if they're going to have heat this winter, if they're going to have air in the summer. And that's why I'm also like all electric. It's expensive, okay? So part of me wants the freedom to have a wood stove, and cut my cost, have solar. Like, there's things I want to be free. Like, maybe it's called off the grid. But I want that freedom. I want to be able to go somewhere if I want to. And it seems like if I have to move a lot, or if I don't get along with my neighbors, or if I get in a fight with someone like a landlord or something, I'm going to have to move anyway. So why wouldn't it just be a camper where I can move from place to place to place, right? It seems to make sense, but who knows what's really going to happen at the end of the day, what I'm going to do, because, you never know. God's going to put me where I need to be. I'm scared shitless. Obviously, you need to look at your options and think, but, things happen out of your hands sometimes, and you have to learn to accept that. And, just be thankful that you got water, thankful that you have a place to sleep. Thankful for the little things. When COVID-19 hit, we didn't have toilet paper, okay? We had old newspapers we had to crunch up to make soft. Okay, I had paper cuts and everything, guys. I've lived through some rough times. I didn't have hot water. I had to boil hot water on the stove and a little kettle pot and use a washcloth to wash myself. We've been without electricity. I've lived a hard life, okay? I don't want to live like that no more. I want to have enough money to go out and get groceries, get a cute little festive thing for Halloween or Christmas. I want to enjoy life, not be in this constant survival scavenging mode. And I just want someone on my team for that. It's like, I'm not asking for fucking the moon and the stars, you know what I'm saying? I'm asking for decency. I'm asking for equal. I'm asking for a partnership. I'm asking for someone to take good care of me, okay? That's, even when my mind goes and my health goes, like, still care about me at you know, a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Like, make sure I'm good, like, and that's it. But guys, I'm gonna get off here. I'm gonna try to see what else I can. I've been watching the Osbourne podcast. If you used to watch that show on MTV called The Osbournes with Jack Kelly, Ozzy Osbourne, Sharon Osbourne, they got a podcast now. That's pretty interesting. Jack's got his own paranormal thing going on. Kelly's obviously still, you know, she's beautiful. She's got purple hair. She had a baby. So, and Ozzy, you know, you always enjoy watching Ozzy. He's just, you haven't seen him in so long. He's had Parkinson's and surgeries and stuff, and he can't perform anymore. So he's doing like this podcast, right? Which I actually really like and enjoy. You know, I've been watching, you know, Good Mythical Morning, Good Mythical More, Urban Rescue Ranch. He got some axolotls. Those are cute little pink salamanders. They're of the tiger salamander family. They're super cute. I love them. I just got done watching Lost Paws. I'm trying to give you some YouTubers that you can watch that kind of relate to me. What else off the top of my head? I've been playing a few merging games to keep me, like, busy. Oh, man. Really, I just try to keep my mind busy. When I didn't have internet, that was a dark time. That was a dark time. You know, and I haven't been able to afford cannabis in a really long time. Like, I'll get a little bit, like a $38 pack, which is the cheapest you can buy for 3 grams. But, you know, within a week or two, it's gone. So you know, I had to accept that too, because, I mean, it does help a lot of things, but it's also like, if you can't afford it, like, you don't want to go without internet, because one, you can't make phone calls, you can't, you know, I use LTE, which I can't afford actual home internet. I can only phone, like, unlimited on my phone through AT&T, where I can get a little bit of internet and phone calls. But yeah, like, that's pretty much my life, guys. I'm trying to sell this place so I might get a motorhome or like an RV, or like, I've been seeing some vans that are actually nice that are converted into like a living space in the back. But, you know, me being a bigger person, it might be better to be an RV. You know, there's something about apartments. I don't know if it's because my trauma occurred in an apartment, that it was like everybody was witnessing my trauma unfold, that you just don't want to be in a big group of people or a big building full of people to witness your fucking domestic abuse or just shit like that. You know what I mean? Like I said, we're gonna get off here. Let me say goodnight to Jasper. Some baby boy. What's this lump right here? What's that lump right there? Handsome man? Handsome boy? I'll give you a kiss. Oh my goodness, little man. Mwah. Give the baby a kiss. You ready? Oh, you want a canned food? Alright, well, we're gonna get off here. Bye! Alright, guys, I'm gonna get off here. I know my hair's a mess. Just ignore it. Well, I'm gonna get off here. Sit here and watch YouTube, I guess, because I don't really have anyone chatting. At least there's no hate chat. That's something. That's a plus. Sore. My neck hurts. Oh my gosh. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Oh, oh, man. Oh, oh, man. Well, guys, I'm gonna get off here. If you know anyone selling any RVs, campers, bigger. I'd rather not be at like a bunch of steps, you know, like kind of lower to the ground. It doesn't have to be super big. I wish there was a washer and dryer in them, but sometimes you can find like campsites you can park your camper at. Sometimes they'll have on facility things. If you have any other ideas of what I should do, like let me know. I know there was like someone had commented you should just get a duplex, but you know, you never really know your neighbors, guys. You really don't, and that's the thing. I don't like that no control. Maybe that's my problem, is I like to have control over things now because I wasn't in control for so long. And sometimes you can get neighbors that, you know, get bugs, like are really into crime, like just banging on your door every time you make a little noise, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, if I'm gonna be alone too, there's something about that that gives me more anxiety than being alone. I don't know what it is. Like, being in a giant building full of people gives me anxiety. But anyway, I'm gonna get off here and I'll talk to you on the next one. Bye.